nice and warm, yeah? Excellent, yes. Oh, my clicker. Okay, where were we at? Yeah. Get my rum ready. Oh shit, that's good. Hey, good. How do you say in German? Guten Morgen. How do you say good afternoon? Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Yeah, how you doing? It's good to see you guys here because I know you could be somewhere else drinking vodka or you could be drinking gin or something like that, but you're here drinking rum. Rum, yeah. So thank you for this is the last presentation of this year, of 2019. And after I finish this presentation, it may be the last time you ever see me at BCB. It happens. I do apologize, my German is terrible. How many Germans in the house? Oh, no man. Where's everyone else from? How many Spanish? 2, 3? Greek? Oh, Malacca! Yeah. So yes, I'm going to do this presentation in really bad English, if that's okay. So, as a global ambassador for rum, which basically means I just get to travel around the world, drink lots of free rum, work with some amazing bartenders. I'm going to try and tell you or share with you some of the stories I hear around the world. Because as a rum lover, when you speak to some bartenders, they are misinformed, and it's not their fault. It's these bloody brand ambassadors that go around telling everyone, oh, my rum is this, my rum is that, my rum makes your thing go all the way down to there. That's what I hear some people say. Yeah, it's like putting lead in a pencil to some of the boys bartenders. Or my rum makes you more attracted to male bartenders or male people. That's what some rum companies will say. So I just want to dispel some of those rumors and some of that bullshit that you may hear around the world. So these are 10 of my favorite things that make me laugh when I travel around the world. So if you do want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all that. I mean, the Rum Ambassador, that's me. As such, right. And if you don't know who I am or what I do or why I'm up here, I do love rum. I'm a rum lover. As such, I'm a coctologist. Yeah, not mixologist, coctologist. And when I do shifts, I do like 10, 15 minutes. I don't like you guys do the proper shift. 15 minutes, that's it. I do guest drinking. Guest drinking, that's what you'll see me doing. I'm also known as the vodka assassin, so I do, if anyone drinks vodka and loves vodka and gets offended very easily, then get the fuck out now. Yeah, exactly. So, let's get on. So, this is the first thing I always hear about from bartenders. Rums are sweet. Like, what? But technically they're right. Some rums are sweet, but not sweetened. Two different things. A rum that is sweet and a rum that is sweetened is two different types of rum. Yeah? And one of the reasons why is, hey listen, when you're making alcohol from fermentable sugars. Now what product's going to give you the most amount of fermentable sugars? Sugar cane, sugar cane. Sugar cane's going to give a lot more fermentable sugars than say wheat or barley or grapes and things like this. So yeah, so naturally, if you're fermenting and making a spirit from sugar cane and it's done naturally, it will taste sweet, but not sugared. It will taste sweet, the perception, because you don't get any sugar from distillation. There is no sugar in any spirit that comes off of a still. Any sugar that's added is added after, post-distillation. So yes, some rums are perceived in the taste to be sweet. Yeah? But if a rum is very, very sweet, put in your hand, rub in your hands, and it's really sticky, then it's probably had some sugars added to it. And there are some countries around the world where it's illegal to actually add sugar to your rum. This is why I always stress to bartender friends, when we define and look at rum as a category, look at where it was made. Because there are rules and regulations where it was made. It may not be interpreted where it's sold, but where it's made is an important part of you defining what that style of rum is. For example, if a rum is made in Jamaica, it's illegal to add sugar or additives to it. Yeah, very important where rum is made. So not all rums are sweet. Actually in 2020, which is next year, All rum sold in the EU, if they have more than 20 grams per litre, they would not be allowed to be defined as rum. They cannot use the word, oh, somebody here, wow. They won't be allowed to use the word rum on the label. Yeah, so there are certain brands out there that are quite popular that will have to take the word rum off their label or call themselves rum liqueurs because of EU laws. 20 grams maximum. I personally think it's still too bit high. I think cognac is like 15, 16 grams you're allowed in cognac as such. But hey, that's just my personal opinion, and you need to take one step before we run a marathon. And the rum regulations, rum rules is a marathon. So not all rums are sweet, that's number one. I do like to mention, since we're in Germany, anyone ever tried Verschnitt? Rum Verschnitt? No. Are you German? You're from North? You're from Flensburg or Hamburg? You're from the South? How the hell did you get down to the South? Yeah, shit like that is not rum. It might have rum on the label, but it's not rum. It's like a local spirit, 95% local spirit, 5% high ester Jamaica rum blended together, and legally they can call it Rum Verschnitt until next year. Yeah, so be careful of those products. Look, even this is the worst thing. When you see the word Jamaica rum Verschnitt somewhere hidden there, it's not Jamaican rum. Not a Jamaican rum, and again, because Jamaica now has its geographical indication, this particular label would not be allowed to use the word Jamaica on their product anymore. Just the same way as you couldn't make a cognac from London, because it's not from the cognac region as such. And you couldn't make a cognac from, where are you from again? Martinique? Chartreuse. Oh, Chartreuse, French. Sorry. Yeah, you see a lot of products around the world using the word Jamaica. Look, Jamaica Rum Verschnitt. These are, as I said, local spirits. Normally like sugar beet. Imagine like a vodka, 95% vodka and 5% of big heavy Jamaican rum blended together, put into a barrel and legally sold as Rum Verschnitt. Has anyone been to Czech Republic? Or anyone from Czech Republic? Anyone from Czech Republic? You're from Czech Republic. Have you seen this product out there? Terrible stuff. Terrible. Why? Because it's fake rum. Fake rum. Božkov Tazemski sold as rum in the Czech Republic. Actually, when Czech Republic joined the EU, as a British person, I don't really like to mention that word because you've all heard about Brexit. When the Czech Republic joined the EU, they had to take rum off the label because it was made from sugar beet with caramel and flavoring. But for years in the Czech Republic, products like this were sold as rum. That's why the Czech Republic is a great place to sell real rum. Tazemski, don't drink it. Terrible. Makes it even worse when you get reputable magazines. I'm not going to mention any names of the magazine. That when they do a top 10 list of the best-selling rums in the world, they stick shit like this inside there and say, oh, it's one of the top-selling rums in the world. And it's not even, I'm about to swear, too late. It's not even fucking rum. It's not even rum. It makes me furious when I see this shit. 10th biggest selling rum in the world, Božkov rum, made from sugar beet, caramel and spices and flavor. That's the shit that rum has to go through. That's why you get people think that rum has no rules because of bullshit like this. But it's changing. It's changing. They're not rums. No, they're not rums. They are not rums. Not rums. So watch out for those fake rums that are out there. That we're looking to, they look to us bartenders to, I say us because I'm trying to be like you guys. As I said, I only do 15-minute shifts. Look, the bartenders are the best people in the world. 15-minute shifts. They try and get us to sell this product to our customers and increase their sales. 2, rum is made from sugar. Well, technically yes, but no. The reason why I point this out, because in America, I've seen some brands launched out there that are made from maple syrup and sorghum. Why? Because the guys that actually do the labels, the guys that actually sanction the labels said, oh, it's sugar. It's made from sugar. Rum's made from sugar. And maple syrup is sugar. And sorghum is sugar. No, it's not sugar cane, though. Everything's made from sugar. Even that spirit with no flavor, no color, no taste. What's it called? That's it, yeah. Even that's made from sugar. A fermentable sugar. Everything's made from a fermentable sugar, but not sugar cane. So yeah, no, to make a rum, you have to be made from sugar cane. It can't be made from sorghum, maple syrup, or any of that other crap. And some of you have seen this before. This is me in my garden. chopping sugar cane, making my rum. Only garden in North London that has sugar cane growing inside there. It's the truth. You live in London, you know that. There's no place in London that grows. Hey, Kew Gardens maybe, not as good as mine. Not as good as mine.
Global warming.
And this is my global warming. You're right. And this is my little cane crushing machine right in the corner, the east coast, the east side of my garden. I crush my sugar cane juice, and then there's my juice. I use this when I would make my rum agricole. Oh, any French here? One! Oh, there's always one, isn't there? French! When I would make my rum agricole, or any Brazilians here? I might want to make cachaça. I could make my rum from my cachaça from fresh sugar cane juice, or Madeira rum as well. If anyone's from Madeira, if you did my masterclass yesterday, all Madeira rums are made from fresh sugar cane juice as well. Some companies will heat that sugar cane juice, reduce some of the bacteria in there and turn it into a syrup. Any rums from Guatemala are made from syrup as well. Also in Venezuela, they like to use syrup and molasses for their rums. So if anyone's had a Diplomatico, they are blends of rums from molasses and from syrup as well. But most companies will use molasses, blackstrap molasses, the byproduct of making sugar. It's about 55% fermentable sugars, just for those Americans who think that everything is made, all rums are made from just sugars. Fermentable sugars, blackstrap molasses, the leftovers of making sugar. Very important raw material. Imagine we got some of this, we add some water to that, click. Again, if anyone's ever been to my garden, you'd know, you'd see that river. You saw that yesterday, didn't you? From a river, yeah, she believes me. This is the river in my garden, next to the sugar cane. I add that to my molasses, and then add some yeast, some fermipan, which is a really good distiller's yeast used in many countries around the world, lots of different brands. And the yeast just eats the sugars and excretes alcohol and CO2. If I was doing open air fermentation, this is a vat with molasses and water and sugar just bubbling away. All those bubbles are just floating away, and CO2 just float up into the sky. If you look very carefully, you can see a hand in there, somebody fell in, but it adds to the flavor of the rum. It adds to the flavor of the fermentation. Just left them in there. It's like, left them in there. Inside this. That's open air fermentation, taking advantage of the wild yeast. If you want to be really clever, remember the yeast, when it eats that sugar, it excretes what? CO2. And the CO2 you can collect. So this is closed fermentation, and these pipes on top of these big vats are sucking up or collecting that CO2. That is sold to the local soft drink company. Amazing, brilliant, simple chemistry. And that's another reason why rum and coke taste so good. Yeah, somebody got bubbles from the fermentation. So yes, a closed fermentation, selling the CO2 to these soft drink companies. And then you distill it, of course, because when that yeast eats that sugar with the water, all of that liquid becomes about 8 to maybe 10% alcohol by volume. Now we need to get it to proper drinking strength. So still sipping. Get it to proper drinking strength, 40% alcohol, 41, none of that beer shit, like 8%, 10%. And we use equipment like batch distillation. These are some old pot stills, making what I like to call single rum. Single rum like single malt. Doesn't mean anything special, just means single, as in one distillery. Rum, as in it's made from molasses. Pot still, because it says single, like single malt. Pretty much, yeah. That's what single malt means, doesn't it? Doesn't it mean single distillery, single barrel?
Single distillery.
Single distillery, yeah. Doesn't mean single barrel. Correct. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Whiskey expert over here. So why not have that single rum? One pot still rum from a single distillery. Single rum. So you see some of the guys using pot stills like this. This is like some of the modern styles. Traditional. I say traditional only because traditionally some of these countries, like the French Caribbean and the Spanish Caribbean, they got rid of the pot still. Why? Because they were told not to make rum by the governments of Spain and France. And when they decided to make rum again and make loads of money by the English, the Industrial Revolution had happened. So the stills that they got rid of were replaced by these new column stills or coffee stills. So this is traditional for the French style or the Spanish style. This is an old coffee still made out of wood. You can still see that today in Guyana. If you ever go down to Guyana, El Dorado, they use that. And this is a nice little Creole still from Dupaz in Martinique, using fresh sugarcane juice and making the beautiful tasting rums. And some like to blend pot still and column still, I like to call these, or we like to call these single blended. Single distillery, a blend of traditional pot and traditional column. single blended. But this is only for the geeks. Consumers don't give a shit about this. It's for you guys, the geeks that know about rum and spirits. Well, I'm assuming, dude. Assuming you know about rum. Yeah, you know about it. Yeah, excellent, perfect. Click. Oh, there we go. And then you have the modern distilleries. This is how a lot of, especially Latin distilleries, I say Latin as in Spanish and Italian and maybe Spanish, they've employed a lot of these new column stills, multi-column stills, to make more rum. And these styles of rums made in these stills are the most popular or most widely drunk in the world. The Bacardis of the world, the Tanduay from the Philippines, as such. Angostura from Trinidad are made in multi-column modern stills, a much lighter style of rum, and rums you can make for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the great thing I love about rum is when you give it some character and flavor. You just have another sip. By the way, you guys got the same rum in your little plastic glasses. I told you not to use plastic, but hey, they're still getting there in BCB. Next year we'll have some recyclable glasses, maybe some paper ones. By the way, I'm drinking out of glass because I'm responsible, you guys are not. So anyway, so you get the rum, and you stick it in the barrel, and you wait. This is me waiting for a rum, get a bit of colour, a bit of flavour, a bit of intensity, a bit of this beautiful colour when it comes out the barrel, you see gold. So which leads me on to the third thing I always hear from bartenders. Rums are simply just white, gold and dark. I see so many menus around the world, and it says white rums, gold rums, dark rums. I'm like, what the fuck? What does that mean? What does that mean? They say, well, white rum is white rum. I'm like, okay. You got Bacardi? Yeah, what's Bacardi? It's a white rum. Say, have you ever heard of this little tiny rum called Rear Nephew Proof? Yeah. Everyone know this rum? Yeah, we know that. Let me just do the ceremony, one second. Yeah, there we go. That gets rid of the ghosts and the bad vibes and the bad energy. Should have done that at the start, but yeah, that place is going to be sacred. There's going to be no ghosts inside here because that's what we do in Jamaica. Pour a little bit of rum on the floor, gets rid of the ghosts, bad vibes. Yeah, but that rum, this rum here is 63% alcohol by volume. It is molasses. It is unaged. Pot still, a little bit of column in there. And Bacardi is a column still, multi-column still, light rum, 40% alcohol in America, 37.5 here in Europe. Aged for 1 year, Bacardi, because the law in Puerto Rico says you have to age your rum for a minimum of 1 year to be defined as a rum. Well, this is unaged, raw rum, but both look white in color. Can you imagine giving this to someone who came into your bar and says, oh, I'll have a rum and coke, and they're expecting a Bacardi? Exactly. Both are white rums. What we need to do is maybe say to our customer, would you like a Puerto Rican style or would you like a Jamaican style? Because Jamaicans with it's intense. Yeah, man. Anyway, but that's another story. So, so there's different types of rums. Yeah, and we can't judge the rums by color. We can't just call it white, gold, and dark. Maybe call it Jamaican white, or Puerto Rican white, or Cuban white, Martinique white, which is made from fresh sugarcane juice instead of molasses. We need to start talking about where the rums are made. They're bottled at different strengths. They use different types of barrels. Some are in age. So I hear this a lot. I also hear this from bartenders. The color of a rum determines the age. They think, oh, it's darker. It must be older. That means it makes me very old, really, because I'm quite young. It makes me very young. But it's not true. It's not true. Just because a rum is darker, it doesn't mean it's older. Just because a rum looks like piss, it doesn't mean it's not old. Yeah, it's true, it's not old. I mean, look at this. This is a 10-year-old rum. 10 years old. 250-litre barrel. It's been aging. Look at the colour, looks like piss. But it tastes good. It tastes good. And then you get a rum that's 20 years old, a little bit darker. It's a smaller barrel, it's taking a lot more of the woody flavours in there. In fact, the master blender, she may have burnt the inside of the barrel. She may have toasted the inside of the barrel, so it gives it even more colour and a little bit of smoke. And again, you're going to get that 20 years. And then you get me, who comes up and says, I'm going to make a 3-year-old rum, put some caramel in there. And it's darker than both of the two. And I get someone saying, oh, this is a dark rum, it must be strong, it must be old because it's dark. No! Do not judge a rum, just like any spirit, on its colour. It's nice to appreciate the colour, but it doesn't tell you about the complexity or the age of the spirit. Yeah, it doesn't tell you about the age or the complexity of the spirit. So beware. Now, why would we use E51A as a caramel in rum and also in whiskey? Well, if you're going to bottle a bottle of rum at 40% alcohol and save on tax, and the rum came out the cask at like 50% alcohol by volume, once you watered it down, it's going to start looking like piss. Because you put water in there to get it from 55 to 40. So you add a little bit of caramel, just a touch, not much. Maybe like this amount of caramel of E150 to a whole barrel of rum. And that will change the color and bring it back to the same color as it was when it was 55% alcohol. So that's why caramel is used in rums and some whiskeys to bring it back to the same color as it was when it came out of the barrel. Not for taste, not for flavor, just to bring it back to consistency of color. So if I buy the rum today in one country and I buy it in another country, it looks exactly the same. That's why caramel is used. So don't judge a rum and look at it and say, oh, it's old because it's dark. Oh. But there are some great rums that look dark as well. 5. R-H-U-M. You can empathize with this. R-H-U-M is a spelling mistake. Rum, as they say in France. France. No, it's not a spelling mistake. That's how the French spell rum. It's an agricole or a France type of rum. Most of the French rums from the agricultural regions will sell the rums like that. So normally if you see the word R-H-U-M, 99.9% of the times that rum will be from fresh sugarcane juice and not molasses. Yeah, very important, very understandable, but there is a precedence. Look at whiskey. Whiskey with an E, or whiskey without the E. Yeah, Scotland do their whiskey with an E, or sorry, without the E, because they want to save on money on printing.
That's the Scottish too.
As a Scottish too. And the Irish and Americans, they use an E in their whiskies. The Irish whiskies and the American whiskies like bourbon and rye use an E inside there. So there are different ways of spelling whiskey, just like there are different ways of spelling rum. But normally when you see R-H-U-M, they're normally from a French-speaking country, and 99.9% of the time they'll be made from fresh sugarcane juice, agricultural rum, or rum agricole. Now, here comes the little political part. The word rum agricole, legally in Europe, can only be used for 2 regions. One is the departments of France, so Martinique, Guadeloupe, French Guyana, and the other one is departments of Portugal, and that's pretty much just Madeira. Madeira is allowed to use the word agricole on their labels for their rums. They're the only 2 regions legally allowed to use words agricole on their bottles. So any other product that says the word agricole and it's not from their regions is breaking the law. Now in America, they don't really give respect for the law. They have no idea what's going on. Look who their president is. I mean, they have no respect. And so you'll see a few brands that use the word agricole on their label because they're made from fresh sugarcane juice, but they are not agricoles. And when France or Martinique or Guadeloupe decide to go after the American brand, like they would do with cognac or like they would do with champagne, that would be more power to the rum industry. It's just unfortunate the rum industry are from developing and poorer countries around the world, and they don't have the financial backing to actually go after these countries or companies that will abuse their names. So anytime you see the word rum with an H, it should be from the French department or from French department. Anytime you see the word agricole, it should be from either a French colony or it should be from, that's in Mauritius, no, Madeira. Ron! That's the other thing I hear. That's the name of the person who made the rum. I thought this for many years. I always thought Ron Bacardi was like a dude named Ronald Bacardi. Yeah, he makes that rum. No. And then I found out one of my Spanish friends said, Ian, come here. How do you say come here in Spanish? Come on. Ven aquí. Ian, come here. Slapped me in my face. It's Ron. Ron means rum. I'm like, oh wow, shit. Ron means rum. I thought Ron was his name, like Ron Bacardi, Ron Havana. No, it's rum. Rum means rum. So you see the word Ron on a label, it normally means the rum has a Spanish influence. It's from a Spanish background. If we knew a little about the history, we'll probably say, oh, the rum is probably maybe multi-columned or column still, because history says the Spanish got rid of the pot still for many, many years, and when they got back into the rum game, the Industrial Revolution had happened, so they made their rum from the best stills at that time, which was the column still. Yeah, so rum on a bottle product should say something to you as bartenders. It'll probably be lighter, it'll be multi-columned, or it'll be single-columned. It'll probably be molasses, definitely not fresh sugarcane juice. So it tells you a little bit about the product even before you get into the bottle or you spend money on there. The word rum. And other names was used like Kill Devil, Naguadiente, and Gildib, and Tafia, Clarin, and Brepe, or Brebraje, or Brepa. I can never say that, the J in Spanish. Another word, old word used for Spanish rum. So, yes, so when you see Rum Bacardi and you see El Rum de Cuba, that means rum. By the way, the rum you're drinking is from Cuba. Does anyone still have some, or do you need more? If you need more? Need more? Mas. Have you got any more? Have you got any more? Well, if this, sorry, we're running out of one bottle. But there is more upstairs. If you go up to upstairs, it's called La Progresiva. It's a 13-year-old, genuine 13-year-old, no Solera shit. It's a genuine 13-year-old from Cuba. Very dry on the finish, initial sweetness on the taste. Old barrels, which is what I see as Cuban-style rum. Not Jamaican, no oomph, like a Jamaican. No agricole, no fresh sugar cane juice inside there. No sugar added to it, so not like Central America and some of the places in Central America. It is a Cuban-style rum. So if you go up to the stand upstairs, the one where you see black tears with the spice rum, they have the 13-year-old La Progresiva, and if you're lucky, you may get the 20-year-old 20 años. You may get that because they have that up there, but Spanish style. But going back to that age thing, number 6, the thing I always hear around the world from bartenders. Oh yeah, I love this 20-year-old rum. Oh really? What is it? I'm looking at it, I'm like, it says 20-year-old Solera. That's not 20 years old. What the fuck are you talking about? I said, yes it is. I'm like, why? Because the brand ambassador told me it's 20 years old. Shit, the brand ambassador told you you're ugly, would you believe that? Well, you are anyway, but I mean, would you believe that? No. The reason why, this is my personal opinion, the reason why I see Solera age claims is because of whiskey. You go to Scotland. Scotland, they have some amazing whiskies, some amazing Scotch whiskies that are aged for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. Why? Because the angel share is very low. We'll get on to the angel share a little bit. Angel share very low. Sometimes in the Caribbean and the tropics, we feel inferior. We feel inferior. When we want to celebrate, instead of drinking rum, we drink whiskey. And we see these 20-year-old whiskies coming from Scotland. And we celebrate drinking that. And when we're making our rum, we have some old rum, we lose a lot more because of the tropical climates. So we want to put an old claim on the label to make it more prestigious. Yeah. Now Solera blending is a great way of blending old and young spirits to get flavor and profile as such. This is a Solera system, actually in Puerto Rico. And the whole idea is all your rum that you sell to the consumer is coming from the bottom, which is what Solera means, from the floor. So this will be all the oldest rums, and the youngest rums are in these barrels. And every year you'll decanter half of that barrel into these 2 barrels, and then half of that barrel into these 2 barrels, and half of that barrel into these 2 barrels, and half of that barrel into these 2 barrels, and then you sell to your friends. Now you're blending young rums, because you put young rums on the top, with older rums to make a consistent product. But you can't put an age claim on that. Really? Really? Well, you can't. Especially when you see Solera 37. Oh, it's a 37-year-old rum, yeah. How long did it take for the rum to get from there to there? 8 years, but it's a 37-year-old rum. No. The number on the bottle is not always the age of the product. There are certain countries around the world that is legal to put the youngest on the label. A lot of English-speaking Caribbean countries like Jamaica and Barbados, French countries like Martinique and Guadeloupe, Spanish-influenced countries like Cuba. It's illegal to put any other age or number on the label that makes you believe as a consumer that there are older rums in there than what's depicted. So, Havana 7, youngest rum in there is 7 years old. Cuba. Jamaica's Appleton, 12-year-old. Youngest rum in the blend, 12 years old. Yeah, it's very important. So look for the word Solera and an age claim on the bottle. And if you're paying less than 100 euros for a Solera 23 that you think is 23 years old, then you're being conned. That's just my opinion. It's also the truth. So, Average aging. You do get some countries that basically, because of their rules and their regulations, like Panama and Nicaragua, they will have average aging. So Florida Canyon and Abuelo, they have 18 and 12. These are average ages. So they will have some older rums in there, and they'll have some younger rums in there. And there's enough quantity of older rums to give an average age of 18 and 12. I prefer that a little bit more than Solera, only because at least you're getting value for money, because there are some older products in that blend. And when you taste some of these rums, especially the Abuelo, you get some good tasting products as well. So average aging. So be careful what you're paying for. Be careful what you're paying for. Understand where the rum is made. These are all 12 on the label. Jamaica, Barbados, minimum of 12 years old. Guatemala, Colombia, Solera, a blend of rums up to 12. Nicaragua, average aging, so there'll be some younger rums than 12 and older rums than 12. But that one in the middle, that blended rum, deception from America. It's called Zaya. And I gave them grief and they banned me from coming to visit them ever again. Because what they did, they used to buy 12-year-old rum and they said, oh, we can't buy it anymore. What do? We want to keep 12 on the label so we can get our American friends to buy this rum. What did they do? They said, oh, why don't we say a blend of 12 rums? So that's what it is. That is a blend of 12 rums with the number 12 on the label. Exactly. Yeah, they're fucked up. They're fucked up. Yeah, they're fucked up. Minimum aging. That's what I believe. I reckon all rum companies around the world there should be any age claim on a bottle should be the youngest product inside there. That's how I see it. Anything different is a deception, is to make the consumer believe they're buying older product. And I don't care if I don't get work from any of these companies, I'll give a fuck. I will tell you, it's bullshit. It's bullshit marketing. 7, we've only got 10, we've got a couple more to go. 7, all white rums are tasteless and cheap and taste the same. Come on, we already highlighted this earlier when we compared Bacardi with Nuff said. Whatever, I can sip a rain if you. Yes. Yeah, go for it. You help yourself, man. Help yourself. Yeah. It's only 60. Yeah, pass it around. Share, man. Rum's about sharing. 63% alcohol by volume. Rum in the rawest sense. Molasses. No fire breathing. No fire breathing. I don't want you to burn your dreads. Oh, I feel better now. Yes. So yes, white rums are not just cheap alternatives to gold. Why? Because some white rums are made in small batches, like the Ray Nephew. Some are filtered through charcoal, so all rums that are coming out the cask can have a nice, beautiful, light or dark golden color. And then some are filtered through charcoal. And then filtered through charcoal, it's like, well, why would I make a gold rum and then filter through charcoal to make it water white? That doesn't make sense. But I did say at the start, or earlier on, in some countries it's a law. To make a rum, you have to age it in barrels. So Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, Australia, to be defined as a rum, you have to age your rums for at least a minimum of a year. In Puerto Rico and Cuba, Venezuela and Australia, it's actually 2 years. So once you've aged that rum, it gets a bit of color. You want to sell a white rum to some of these cocktailologists and drinkers and abusers of alcohol. You want to sell rum to these guys, you're going to have to filter it from charcoal to take the color out. So it's aged, but it's colorless. It's colorless. So some companies do that. These are all aged white rums. Don Q Cristal, Bacardi Superior, or Carta Blanca as it's called now because it's an old presentation. They're both aged from minimum of 1 year because that's the law in Puerto Rico. Romocoy from Barbados, that's a 3-year-old rum. Again, slightly colored but filtered through charcoal. Beautiful flavors and textures in there. Diplomatico Planas is a blend of rums from 2, because that's the youngest rum you're allowed to use in a blend in Venezuela, up to 6 years old, filtered through charcoal. And then the Banks 5 is a blend of rums, and blend of 4 rums and a Batavia Arak, but they're all aged and filtered through charcoal to blend and create that product. So you can get some beautiful aged white rums, and they're great in daiquiris. 2 parts of rum, 1 part of fresh lime, and half a part of simple syrup. Give it a good shake, a little TLC. Single strain. I want ice in my daiquiri. Single strain. Stop double straining my daiquiri, you guys. Anyway, single strain. And it's a beautiful drink. The Rum Trinity, rum, lime, and sugar, using a nice aged white rum. Number 8, other things I hear around the world that are just terrible. as a rum lover and a mixer, is rum should only be drunk with Coke and fruit juice. No. I mean, I do like a rum and Coke. I'm not gonna put my hands up. I like a rum and Coke every now and again. It's like tall glass, lots of ice, bit of lime, hot day. I don't like rum and Coke in England, but if you're ever in the Caribbean or nice hot country, humid, then rum and Coke is nice and refreshing. Got sweet tooth. Effervescent, still one of the biggest bar calls in the world. But no, rum can be mixed with so many different ways. And of course, like I say, we got all these coctologists here, like you, coctologists over here and that type of stuff. All these guys making amazing cocktails using rums. Some of the most popular cocktails out in the world are just like, and this is the thing about rum. When people say, I don't like rum, and you say, what's your favorite drink? They say, oh, mojito. I'm like, you do like rum. It's just how you drink it. Rum is not just a dark spirit you're gonna drink and go, oh, it's a bit strong, isn't it? Oh, it's a bit strong, isn't it? No, it's not. It's how you use it. It's how you use it. It's all aged in wooden casks, matured in tropical climates, complex flavors, aromas, creating classic drinks like old fashions, Manhattans. Very important. The daiquiri, for me, it's the godfather or the godmother of the rum drink. Rum, lime, and sugar. Queens, easy. Actually, the statistics say within the World Drinks International, that reputable publication, the fifth most popular cocktail in the world's 100 best bars. They did a survey of all the bartenders in the world's 100 bars, said, what is your most popular cocktails? And the daiquiri was the fifth most popular. So it is still a big popular drink, still being drunk, sold around the world. I say you should try Burrell daiquiri. I actually think it's better. Plus I'm trying to create a legacy. Oh, thank you. Wow, this is the first. I must be in Germany because they gave back the rum. I must be in Germany because if this was England or Jamaica, that would have gone long time, gone. Anyway, yes, that's a Burrell daiquiri. Please, if I come to your bar, make me one of those and I'll be very happy. Only because I can say, well, I'm in Burrell. We're making a Burrell daiquiri. Yeah, man. But yeah, I use a bit of agave inside there with some sugar, so it's more rustic. Twist of orange and a couple of dashes of orange bitters. Don't double strain. I want those little bits of ice in my top of my drink. I know you double strain, don't you? You look like a double strainer. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. I can see you there pouring away. You probably do it with one hand, but you just get the shaker and you get the strainer in one hand. Like, I'm cool. I can double strain with one hand. I know you are. Don't double strain my Burrell daiquiri. Single strain. A twist of orange. Don't forget my twist of orange. I created this cocktail for a friend of mine named Gail Seal, wife of Richard Seal. It's called a Bayesian daiquiri, or the Gail Seal. Using a bit of velvet falernum and sugar as the ingredients. It's actually a combination of two drinks: the corn and oil, which is the classic Barbados drink of rum, Angostura bitters and falernum, and then of course the daiquiri, lime and sugar. Another really refreshing, tasty drink as well. The Mai Tai, king of the tiki drinks. Mai Tai. And I know lots of bartenders like to do Jamaican and Martinique. Nothing wrong with that. Even better when you create your own blend of rums for the base of your Mai Tai. Even better, because rums are one of those spirits that you can blend different styles of rums to create the base for your bar, and it makes it unique. Yeah, so you have rum cocktails that have 2 or 3 or even 4 different rums in it. How many vodka cocktails are there with 3 or 4 different vodkas? Exactly. How many gin cocktails are there with different types of gins? Probably 1 I can think of, and that was bad. Tequila, maybe do tequila or mezcal, but yeah, tequila is a mezcal, but yeah. But rums, you can do a Jamaican rum with a bit of Guyanese and a bit of Puerto Rican, 3 different styles of rums. Yeah, you may do a Martinique agricole with a Jamaican, making a Mai Tai, like Trader Vic did, only third version of a Mai Tai. So you're creating a different base with different styles of rum. So, love a Mai Tai, but I like a 70-year-old Jamaican single rum. Yes. Very nice. Peatery fashion, this is what I do in events when I'm trying to do a little bit of tiki, but something a bit serious. So instead of using sugar, I use a pineapple syrup inside there, and then I use a couple dashes of chocolate bitters, give it a nice stir with a nice big premium aged rum till it's nice and cold as well. If I want to get fancy, I use a dehydrated pineapple. Sometimes I even get even more fancy and I do like a pineapple air. That's when I get real, oh yeah, I get fancy sometimes. Pineapple air or foam, pineapple foam, just to get that pineapple and coconut flavors, and I put a bit of coconut shavings in there. Just give the essence of a pina colada, but in an old fashioned as such. The painkiller, we love a creamy drink. If you like pina coladas, if you like pina colada. Then you've got a painkiller as well. Classic drink from the Virgin Islands. Bit of navy rum inside there, coconut. I will sometimes put a bit of lime, because sometimes the pineapple doesn't cut it. You need to put the pineapple coconut in there. The rum punch, for me, this is the godfather or godmother of all rum drinks. Why? Because it has the ingredients. It's also the godfather of tiki drinks. It has all the ingredients and all the recipe for all tiki cocktails, pretty much. And what is that? 5 ingredients for most tiki cocktails. 1 is sour, 2 is sweet, 3 is strong, 4 is weak, 5 is spicy. Make it nice. Yeah, and you can use that in many different, what's called recipes. So the lime, the sour could be lime, lemon, passion fruit, grapefruit, sweet, sugar, agaves, different types of syrups. Strong should only be rum, because I've never tried a tiki cocktail with vodka and it tastes like shit. Never tried a good tiki cocktail with vodka. Weak could be water or fruit juice, and the spice could be nutmeg, or it could be mint, it could be cinnamon, it could be bitters. Yeah. That's the original rum punch, the planter's punch. Came from India. If anyone speaks Hindi, anyone speak Hindi here? No one speaks Hindi? What's going on? Anyway, I'll teach you some Hindi. The number 5 in Hindi is punch. Yeah, you do speak Hindi. You lied. You do. 5, because that was the original punch. Yeah, it was a bit of a local spirits like arak, and then water and lemon and tea and spices. That would be the 5 ingredients to make a punch, which then evolved, went to the Caribbean, and we made it better, because we like doing things like that in the Caribbean, make it better, and we turned it into the planter's punch. So yes. This is another cocktail I really like. We did have some volume, but we had no volume, but this is a friend of mine making a Cuba Libre. So he's actually in a cocktail competition. I said, make a rum cocktail, and you have 5 minutes to make your rum cocktail. I'm still waiting for him to make his cocktail. Oh shit. It's a good bottle of chocolate though. Yeah. When are you gonna make this drink? When are you gonna make a drink? Are you gonna make it now? Like this today? Tomorrow? Yeah, okay. You can get some bartenders that think more of themselves than the customer. You got 1 minute left to make your cocktail. Come on, hurry up. I still haven't got my drink yet. I feel like I'm in one of these big fancy bars in London. I'm gonna let him know he has like 20 seconds to make the drink before the time runs out and he's disqualified. Oh, nice move. Yeah, you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds to make your cocktail. Oh, he realizes now he's running out of time. Excellent. Oh shit. Yeah, that's so when I asked this bartender, I said, what's that? He says, like, it's a Coke essence with a little bit of rum and fizz. I said to him, that's a Cuba Libre. He said, what's a Cuba Libre? So that's what flair bartenders normally do. Oh, sorry, there's no flair bartenders here, are there? Oh, I don't mean to offend. But anyway, so this is still one of the most popular rum drinks in the world. The rum and Coke, or the Cuba Libre. In fact, what's the difference between a rum and Coke and Cuba Libre?
Lime. Price.
Exactly, yeah, he said lime, but you're right. The price, correct. Cuba Libre would be normally about two euros more than a rum and Coke, even if they're made exactly the same way. Consumers always buy them more money Cuba Libre. So rum and chocolates. So you got rum cocktails. Rum and chocolates is another way to really appreciate and enjoy rum. Rum and cigars. Anyone smoke cigars? You smoke cigars? You're underage. Are you over 18?
Ian?
Oh, sorry. Yes, rum and cigars is another way to really appreciate and promote premium rums around the world. So the 9th thing I hear around the world that makes me furious with some bartenders about rum is good rum should taste like whiskey or brandy. Yeah, exactly, huh? See, you get people like this, skillers. Nice. Oh, that tastes like a good whiskey. No! It tastes like a good rum. That's what it does. Why you say, oh, I can understand why they're making that connection between good rum and whiskey, because for them, a good spirit is a Scotch, or it's a single malt whiskey, or it's a bourbon. And these products are aged in very similar types of casks as rum. So good rum is obviously going to be very similar to these products. So although I might bitch slap them, I understand where they're coming from. I understand where they're coming from. It's very similar. And why? Yes. So rums, a lot of rums are using American oak. Once used bourbon casks. So they're not using new wood, because as you know, in America, they're only allowed to use new wood to make their bourbon. So rums are more green. We don't cut trees down and shit. We don't do that. But they do that in America. They cut trees down to make the barrels, put their bourbon in there. Once the shit's gone, we bring it to the Caribbean and we stick rum in there. Or we just buy it via Scotland or Ireland. But the angel share is the important part, and that's the part that makes people think, oh, this tastes like a whiskey. This tastes like a cognac. No, it tastes like a good rum, because we age our products in very, very similar barrels, but in slightly different climates. So in Jamaica, we call the angel share the duppy share, because the duppies are bad angels. Duppy, with an O, if you want to pronounce it in a Jamaican accent. Duppy, not duppy, duppy. Bad angel. And in Scotland, you stick a whiskey in a barrel there, leave it there for a year, you lose about 2 to 3% of your whiskey. The angels are taking their share. Adds flavour to the whiskey as the whiskey penetrates the wood. Penetrates the wood and gets the colour. And then in Kentucky, a little bit hotter. A bit cold in the winter, but hotter in the summer. And the bourbon goes into the barrel. New wood. New wood. Goes to the barrel. It's quite hot in the summer, cold in the winter, and the bourbon penetrates the wood, gets the colour, flavour, complexity, and texture. But they're losing 2 to 5% every year. 2 to 5% every year of your bourbon whiskey through evaporation to the angels. Cognac. Any French here besides you? You're from the Caribbean French, you're proper French. Caribbean French. The Caribbean French. Sorry, the French. Cognac. Oh, They leave their grape juice in barrels for a couple of years, and they lose 2 to 3% in the haze of cognac. And they're saying, oh, our product's the best in the world because we're French. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Some cognac's not bad. We're losing 2 to 3% a year. But in the Caribbean, we're more intense. Our rum is penetrating the wood on a big, intense level. Yes, we're penetrating the wood because we're hot and passionate. So we're losing 6 to 10% every year of our rum to the angels or the duppies because they're bad angels. Which means a rum in the tropics is aging 2 to 3 times faster than a whiskey in a cooler climate. Now, it doesn't mean it's 2 or 3 times better. It's just the chemical reaction that happens in barrel will happen 2 or 3 times faster in a warmer climate than it will in a cooler climate. This is why you don't see too many really old rums. This is also why you see some crap products with fake age statements and say, oh, I'm really 21, I'm really 23, I'm really 25, because they didn't really want to wait till 25 years old and lose all that product out there. So they pretend that they're that age and get away with local traditions and stick the word Solera on the label. But that's just me in my soapbox moment. So this is called tropical aging. This is when a product's in the tropics and ages more rapidly than the cooler climates. These are 2 of my friends. They have a house in the Caribbean, they have a house in Europe. The wife spends more time in Europe and the husband spends more time in the Caribbean. So he's tropically aged and she's European age, but they're the same age. Not a good thing for a poor lady, because her husband looks very shriveled and old. So tropical aging can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you use it. So, the other thing I always hear, and I heard it even today, rums have no rules, regulations, and should be like whiskey. Who said that? Oh, you mother like that. Okay, look, this is what I want to, this is what, one of the things I want you to take away with you. Like, look at this, different types of whiskey, because whiskeys has no rules. They do in individual countries, but not a global standard. Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, Japanese whiskey, bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, Canadian whiskey. Let's equate that to, there we go, let's equate it to Jamaica rum, Barbados rum, rums from Martinique, rums of Puerto Rico, rums of Cuba, rums of Venezuela, Australian rums. All of these different styles of rums have rules and regulations where they are made. Yeah, where they are made. So you can't do certain things. For example, in Jamaica, you're not allowed to add sugar, you're not allowed to add additives. You're allowed to use pot still, column still, you can be unaged, but age declarations has to be the youngest product on the blend. Very similar, very the same in Barbados. They have very similar rules to Jamaica. One big difference, you have to be made in Barbados to be defined as a Barbados rum. Rums and Martinique have their appellation, same as all the French products. Rules on the types of sugarcane they use. Rules on the distillation. You're allowed to take this rum off 70 to 75% alcohol by volume off Creole column stills. You have to use fresh sugarcane juice from Martinique. Yeah, rum to Cuba. Cuba, when I was there, they have some of the strictest rules in making rum. Sugarcane must be from Cuba. They have to be certified by a laboratory in Cuba to be sold as a rum. They have to be tested. Not allowed to add sugars to them, and if they do, they have to declare them in Cuba. So there are rules and regulations for rums made in Cuba. They're not allowed to use pot stills in Cuba. It has to be continuous column stills. Rums in Venezuela, rums minimum of 2 years. Same as in Cuba, 2 years before you can be defined as a rum. Nothing over 50% alcohol, because anything other than that is aguardiente, firewater. Yeah, so there are rules and regulations in Venezuela. Rum, the sugarcane and molasses has to come from Venezuela to be defined as a Venezuelan rum. In Australia, even Australia has rules. Can you believe that? Yeah, rums made from fresh sugarcane juice, they call virgin cane spirit, or they call sugarcane spirit. They don't call it agricole. Yeah, because all rums in Australia have to be aged for a minimum of 2 years to be defined as a rum. So there are rules and regulations in rums in the regions where they're made. And each region will have their own style of rum, just like we have that in whiskey. So don't ever come and say, when someone says to you, rums have no rules, bitch slap them, or dog slap them. Rums have rules, which is a lot respected in a lot of countries. They have rules, just like whiskey. And here's the last thing I want to leave you with. Number 10, female bartenders should not serve cocktails after 3 p.m. Biggest myth in the world.
Yes.
What type of bullshit is that? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But yeah, imagine that. Can you imagine someone saying, oh, imagine that was a rule. I hear that from 1 or 2 bartenders. If you're a female bartender, you're not allowed to serve rum cocktails after 3 p.m. What type of bullshit is that? That's a myth. Can you imagine telling that to like Gillian Bose, one of my favorite bartenders in the world? Can you imagine saying that to Tess? Tess is fearless. Kick anyone's ass after 3 o'clock on a bar. Anyone's ass. Making some of my favorite rum cocktails. Frankie's here. Frankie's somewhere around there. If you can imagine saying to Frankie, as a female bartender, you must not make cocktails after 3 o'clock, rum cocktails after 3 o'clock. Frankie will kick you in the nuts. Kick you in the nuts and serve your cocktail at the same time. Multitasking. Pippa used to be one of the main bartenders in one of the best bars. Actually, voted the best bar in the world, Savoy Hotel. Holding her own, kicking ass. Oh, by the way, it's like 2 minutes, it's 2:59, Pippa, you need to come off the bar. No more rum cocktails for you. Can I serve a vodka cocktail? No, because Ian might be coming in. Okay, no, no, exactly. And then you have Natasha, I think Natasha's somewhere around here. Won the she won the Brugal near-knee cocktail in America, the American champion. Can you imagine telling Natasha, oh, you can't serve a rum cocktail after 3 o'clock? No, it's not gonna happen. And the actual current world-class winner, champion, Banny Kang. Can you imagine? Gets to 2:59. Just about to make me a daiquiri, make a Burrell daiquiri, about to put like my orange bitters in there. All of a sudden, the clock goes to 3 o'clock. Oh shit, Ian, sorry, I can't make you a drink, because apparently some bartenders think that you can't make rum cocktails after 3 as a woman. No, so I'll be left there with a flipping half daiquiri. No, that's bullshit. So anyway, that's just my little political stance. So there are lots of different rules and regulations for rums. There's a lot of misconception for the rum category out there. It is a fascinating category. It's one of those categories that unlike vodka, makes people feel good. Because it makes people feel good because rum is from a tropical area. It's from an area where we have emotional connections. Yeah. So enjoy rum, enjoy the rum experience. Please do not substitute it for any other spirit out there. But you can substitute other spirits for rum, because drink vodka, you can use a light rum. Whiskey, you can got aged rums, and tequila, you can use like an agricole as such. But more importantly, ask questions of these rum ambassadors that come into your bar to try to sell you rums. Ask them, where's your rum from? How is it made? How old is it? Is there anything added to it? Can I serve it after 3 o'clock in a cocktail? Ask them the questions. Because you guys are the most important, because you guys are the rum industry. You're late. Did you see yourself on the screen? Oh man, I was bringing you up. Can you see yourself? There you are. Oh, there you are. There you are. You're on the screen. Hey, well, champions. Apparently, there's some bartenders in the world that think you can't serve cocktails after 3 o'clock. Yeah. That's a big myth. That's why this is up there. Anyway, so drink rum, forget vodka and that something. Enjoy rum, and remember, if anyone asks you what the best rum in the world is, there's actually three. There you go. The one in my glass.
Next one.
Exactly. The next one. And what's the best rum in the world?
The free one.
Yeah, man. You know it. The free one. The free one. That's the best. The three best rums in the world. Thank you for being here. Coming to the House of Rum. More power to rum. Let's get rum around the world. And as bartenders and industry people, fuck vodka. Oh no, I mean other spirits. Drink other spirits, but promote rum. Because we're from developing countries. Cheers, guys. Thank you.